I'm sure you've experienced this in the past where you've tried to get advice from a certain person and they've given you that advice. But when you actually applied what they were teaching you, you found that it wasn't very effective, that it might have not worked at all, or that they weren't even experienced in the thing that you're doing. For example, there's this one mutual friend of mine, I'd say, in my school. And we have this I have this very small class with him, a friend of his, and like three other people. In this class, I am new to this material. And so sometimes I'll be confused. I'm like, okay, do I do this? Do I do that? I know I'm being very vague. That's on purpose because I'm not trying to go too into detail about who this person is. But the point is, I'll have a lot of questions in this class about what we're doing, what we have to do. And sometimes I'll ask the question to the teacher or generally, and he'll be the first one to respond. And he'll tell me, oh, and in the past, I used to ask him directly for advice. And he'd tell me, oh, you need to do this and that, and he'd give me the whole like rundown basically. And then when I'd follow his advice, the teacher would come running over and say, no, 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 that's dangerous, don't do that. Here's a better way. Here's how you're supposed to do it. And so over time, I just stopped asking him for stuff. I just stopped, even if he gives good advice, many times I won't listen to it because I already have that past experience with him that he will just say stuff without actually having gone through it or knowing it for certain. And even to me, this actually could have applied to me if I posted the video that I just recorded, which was just about masculinity. It was about becoming masculine. And in that video, I was going to include an actionable step, a step to becoming a more masculine man. But I haven't done the actionable step. I read that it worked. I've seen it in other, I've seen that other tribes in Angola and parts of Africa, I've seen that they do it and that it works for them. It's a recorded tradition throughout history, but I haven't gone through it. I haven't experienced what I'm about to tell you. So if you ask me for clarification, if you ask me for more advice on the actionable step, I can't help you because I haven't gone through it. And so that is the point I like to drive home for this video. If you're not experienced, if you find yourself giving advice to people when you haven't gone through their situation, you need to practice mindfulness. You need to be aware of your habits so that when you're speaking to people, you have the ability to hold yourself back and say, oh, wait a minute, I actually can't give you advice on this because I haven't experienced it. You can give them, if you really do want to help, you can give them ideas of what they could possibly try out and experiment with. You could refer them to somebody who has experience and say, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. Maybe you can ask him for advice. But under no circumstances should you ever step up to the plate yourself and say, okay, here's what you have to do. Because guess what? If their situation is serious enough, your advice will hurt them more than it will help. And in that case, you're responsible for everything that goes wrong. If you give somebody advice and they seriously hurt themselves or fuck up their situation because they followed your advice, you are responsible for their failure. You taught them something you weren't sure was right. You taught them something that didn't even work for you because you never applied it. And now you have to face the consequences. Or rather, you're not facing the consequences, they're facing the consequences for you. Which is unfair, because all they wanted was help. And here they are in in a situation that was worse than before because they listened to you. So that's going to be all for this video. Just a real, simple, clear message. Experience, then teach. Go through the situation that you want to help people out with. If you're going to give somebody advice, make sure you've applied the advice first, and then teach people how to apply it themselves. Teach people why it works. Teach people all the little niche details about the advice you're giving, about your preferred strategies. Once you have gained a deep understanding of how everything works. That's going to be all for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, like, subscribe, comment, interact with the video so it gets pushed in the algorithm and more people see stuff like this. Let me know what you guys want. I have a full identity work guide that's in the works right now. I'm still applying that myself. I'm still learning how that works so that I can give you guys a really detailed guide, a really detailed essay on what to do, how to do it, etc. After that, I'm gonna work on some stoicism videos. I'm gonna move more into philosophy and self-improvement specifically. You'll see videos about Dostoevsky, about Viktor Frankl, about Nietzsche, all types of stuff like that. So get excited for that. And yeah, that'll be all. My Medium page is in the description if you'd like to check my articles out. And have a good day, guys.